Hey guys, welcome back to our IFA 2017 coverage, and we're now down here at the Philips booth, which of course makes sense as they're sponsoring this trip, and a massive thank you to Philips. They've got some really interesting stuff here if you're interested in monitors. Over here we've got their new generation of their 43-inch display. Did a video on this earlier in the year, and if you're after a big display, then I think they do a very good job, but this one's changed now because it's supporting HDR technology, which means if you want to use it with something like a PS4 Pro or Xbox One X or any other HDR device, then this is actually now going to be a lot more of a sensible option, and you won't miss out on those features if you decide to use it with something like a console. As we move down, we have their 1080p monitors, but they've changed them now because we've got a 1440p variant. These are all VA panels, and they sort of are going for not entry level, but they're more for entertainment purposes with things like AMD FreeSync technology. One of their new announcements though is over here, and this is a 49-inch monitor, so it's similar, if you like, to what Samsung are doing, but they've taken a different approach because they're saying that this isn't really for gamers. You could use it for gaming, but this is more going to be for professionals with a 60 Hertz refresh rate. It's lower than what Samsung are offering, but it's going to be a cheaper price. And if you want to use it for things like stock market, surveillance, things like that, you're essentially having two 1080p panels sandwiched next to each other with a resolution of, is it 3840 by 1080? It can be very useful if you want a lot of things on screen at the same time. Moving across to some of their other entertainment-esque monitors. We've seen this stuff before. We've got their curved 40-inch panel over there. This is a 34-inch monitor as well. Design-wise, it's changed slightly from the older version, but if you want a curved ultrawide, then this is still a very good way to go. Again, VA panel. But getting to the really interesting stuff, we have to come over here. Now this is not new. This is an 8K monitor that was released earlier in the year and was actually done last year. But they've got some brand new revisions and some really interesting technology. It's not going to be out yet. This is going to be out next year, so Q1 and Q2 respectively. This one here is 8K with HDR, so pretty much everything a professional would want, almost, if you like, from a monitor. In terms of gaming, it's probably not going to be the best thing because 8K is ridiculously high, but it just looks absolutely fantastic, and you can just get so close to the panel and you just can't see any pixels at all. If you think 4K is impressive, then this really does take that a step further. And then finally, I think the one that to my eyes, at least in this environment, probably looks the best out of everything here is a 4K monitor. It's HDR. I think it's going to cost around about the €750 mark, but 4K HDR, and something that it does is actually completely becomes almost bezel-less in nature. You've got a webcam at the top and a logo with a power sensor, both of which can be folded away, which leaves a completely clean design. So it's finally a monitor that doesn't really have anything on it at all, and it lets the panel do the talking, and an incredibly impressive panel it is. We've got things like USB-C, the HDR technology, and obviously it's 4K. And it's going to be available for hopefully a realistic price for a fair amount of people that want a premium monitor. And I can't really wait to get this stuff in for review. So that's pretty much everything really at the Philips booth, other than a curved monitor setup. And this one is pretty cool because you can actually use it like they've got here with 3 monitors in like a gaming surround. They're describing it as something that is, again, an entertainment-based monitor because you can use it for things like gaming, you can use it for professional applications. It's a VA panel as well. All of Philips panels that are curved are VA, and then their flat ones are IPS. This one goes 1440p, and I believe it's 120 Hertz. I'll correct that down the bottom if I'm wrong. But again, it should be very interesting when we do get it in for review. Image quality seems pretty good. But without further testing in the studio, obviously we reserve a little bit of judgment. But yeah, incredibly impressive stuff here from the Philips booth. I hope you've enjoyed this little bit of coverage, and I hope you're excited for some of these really high resolution monitors, or at least as I am. A massive thank you, of course, to Philips for actually sponsoring this coverage as always and getting us out here to IFA 2017. You can find some more videos up there in the top right hand corner. Like the video if you liked it, dislike if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next one.